Hi, folks. It's Dr. Hudgens. I wanted you to know that I have read your reflection papers and have provided feedback in your rubric as well as on your paper. Actually, I think most of your feedback is actually on your paper. You want to make sure you take the time to look at that feedback and integrate changes into your next assignment. One of the reasons we start this course with having you do a leadership assessment is to really help you gauge where your strengths and weaknesses in leadership lie. Some of you are in formal leadership positions now and have a pretty good sense of who you are as a leader and where your strengths and weaknesses are. Some of you are starting out and are still trying to find your way and find out the things you're really good at. So one of the reasons we have you do this assignment is to give you a starting point. And for those of you that are in practice as leaders, to have you pause and really think, am I congruent with what I thought my style was? It is so important to know that your leadership style is just a part of who you are as a leader. One of your classmates did a fantastic job kind of giving a summary of that idea. Frederick wrote in his paper, having an understanding of the top 3 behavioral leadership styles widely used today represents only one aspect of leadership assessment and skill set. Training and personal growth are some of the hallmarks that can equip and prepare healthcare industry professionals to make necessary decisions that will shape our industry today and well into the future. Frederick hit the nail on the head when he took the time to address how we can grow and develop our own skill set that can help us polish our leadership styles. By our own nature, some of us gravitate toward being autocratic or laissez-faire. Most of us really like to sit in the middle and claim that we are participative or a democratic style. It's been my experience that many people that claim that they're a democratic style and they want everyone's opinion and they want a team effort in making a decision, that sometimes they actually just avoid making decisions. So make sure you're really self-aware about how you use that participatory or democratic style of leadership. And are you really authentically sharing and empowering your peers, or are you passing the buck? So that you don't have to make decisions. My personality tends to be pretty autocratic. I like to be the boss. So one of the things that I had to do was use training and personal growth and development, lots of self-reflection, lots of seeking that 360-degree feedback to polish those edges, so that I could learn that just because I thought my way was the best way and I was such a perfectionist, I say was as in the past tense, I'm actually still a perfectionist. I had to learn how to let those things go and how to really give away some of my own power so that my team would feel trusted, would feel valued, would feel empowered. So your classmate Frederick did a great job of just reminding us that knowing your style is a piece of the puzzle. It's not the whole story. So I want you to spend some time just kind of thinking, okay, what does this mean for me? How can I use this survey results to help me focus on an area of development and create a strategy of addressing those opportunities. So this was a great assignment. I appreciate you guys taking the time to do this. I was, from an AP standpoint, was so pleased with so many of the great things I saw. So many of you are already using level headings and doing it effectively. And I appreciate the effort to do so. I saw a few of you using the combined in-text citations. So what that means is you found 2 sources that agreed on a similar topic and theme, and you use them in a combined in-text citation that bolsters the credibility or the scholarly value of what you've said. So when we find multiple authors saying the same thing, when we use multiple citations in a combined format, APA has a way of doing that. It really does bolster the thing that you said. I want to remind you, as you continue to polish your APA, at a graduate level, you should not be using direct quotes very often. They should be the zebras, not the horses. Every once in a while, you're going to come across something that simply cannot be reworded or said any better. That's a zebra. You can use direct quotes and use appropriate APA formatting for that. Most often at this level of graduate learning, you're going to be asked to synthesize what you've read. What did you read? and how does it relate to what you are writing about in your paper. So know those differences and begin to feel brave to step away from your quotation marks, synthesize what you've read, and then you use those in-text citations to give credit to the author appropriately. I'm going through my list, making sure I've hit them all. Nope, one more thing. The DOI, make sure that if you do not have a DOI that you're using a URL. All of your articles should have a DOI, and if they don't, the first thing you do before you just copy and paste that URL is ask yourself, is this article, is this source scholarly? Is it from a peer-reviewed journal? Is it from a journal that's not open access, but actually an applied to journal? Is it current, less than the past 5 years? Those scholarly peer-reviewed journals within the past 10 years, most of them have transitioned to DOI locator numbers. If it hasn't, sometimes you get a really good journal that just hasn't made that transition yet, but they tend to be very small journals. They're not published every month. Sometimes they're quarterly journals. Those are going to be the one-offs. So if you're finding a source that doesn't have a DOI, just double check that it's a scholarly source before you use that URL to fill it in. Under your additional resources, there are several hyperlinks and web locations for you to develop your APA formatting, but there's also a reference in there. It's called Crossref that will help you Google. It's not really a Google. It's a search engine that pulls metadata, and if you put the title of your paper that you can't find a DOI in and you put it in Crossref, it'll see if there's a DOI anywhere located. It's kind of that last ditch effort of, am I sure it's not there? The other place that's really good about sometimes having it is PubMed. One or the other, just double check. Okay, for next week, you've got a discussion board. So use this week to polish your APA, your writing, your discussion board. Folks, treat it like a discussion board. Be mindful of the word guide. This should not be a 2,000-word thesis on the ethical and legal issues that are in the case that you're being asked to do an analysis of. Be clear, be concise, and just answer the questions that are being asked. Treat it like a discussion board. I think that's it. You can tell I'm running out of steam. It's 9:30 here in Roanoke, and I'm tired. And as you can see behind me, I guess my left, maybe your right, Madeline, the Super Beagle, is flipped upside down in her chair sleeping. So it is time to say goodnight. Let me know if you have questions or concerns about feedback. Happy to chat about anything or provide additional feedback if needed. Know that I'm here thinking about you and praying for you. Hope you're well. Stay in touch.